This is the story of the messy life and death of Ben Rennick, a.k.a. the Missouri Snake King. A lovely crown.
All Bens are trash. Just kidding.
Hi,
Ben.
Yeah,
love
Ben.
You.
No, we love you, Ben. This is a lovely crown befitting of a lovely man. Ben really was a good dude, and he was dealt a shit hand.
He was an anomaly among Bens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The first nice Ben, including your sister's fiance that I've ever met.
Oh shit, I forgot about that Ben.
They know a lot of Bens, and they are very lovely. We only know
exactly
a handful of crummy
Bens.
No, I know at least 3 Bens.
Okay.
Anyway, you're giving me the Bens. Ben was a well-known snake breeder. I mean, obviously, he was the fucking king.
Mm-hmm.
Famous for his anacondas, reticulated pythons, and ball python morphs, which are really cool in name, but they don't change shape. It just means they have cool pattern, mutations, and colors. Kind of boring, but whatever.
What does reticulated mean? I'm going to Google it.
But reticulated definition on its own, I've heard that in medical
it means like
jargon.
Patterned.
Oh, okay.
So if you picture like snakeskin boots, that would be an example of a reticulated python skin. It's like
cool.
There's a pattern to it.
Okay. Great. So Ben's obsession with snakes began in the yard of his family's 70-acre farm. And this is Missouri, so we just sort of imagine you go outside to play in the grass and just 10 million snakes burst out of the ground like you're opening one of those prank cans.
Is that what you'd imagine?
I don't know a whole lot about Missouri, but I assume that's what it was like, and so it's only natural. Like, what else are you going to do but hang out with snakes when you're living on a 70-acre farm in Missouri? You know, what else is going to happen?
I've only ever driven through Missouri. I haven't spent time in Missouri, but I can't say that I saw more handguns than snakes in Missouri.
Well, from the car, yeah.
More Confederate flags than snakes. But yeah,
don't love that. Yeah. So Ben grows up loving snakes, and he turns this hobby into a very lucrative business. He establishes Rennick's Reptiles in 2010, and at its peak has... Here's me shuddering at the mere volume of snakes, because even if you love snakes, this is too many fucking snakes. 3,000 reptiles in his like personal, business collection. But this is like he kept them on their 70-acre property.
No,
like in like a building. He had over 3,000 reptiles.
I honestly don't know how much an acre is, so I can't conceptualize how much 70 acres is, but I feel like 3,000 reptiles would fill it.
The footprint of my entire like yard is barely even like a quarter of an acre.
Okay.
So like multiply my entire lot by 4, that's 1 acre-ish. And
so
then
it's a lot of acres.
70, it's a lot of land.
70,000. And also depending on the reptile, is it a thread snake or is it a fucking Titanuba or whatever we said?
No, this is like his...
Tituba.
This is like his breeding business where he has like the articulated pythons and anacondas and shit. He has a lot of small stuff, but he also has a lot of big fuckers.
Right.
So it's a lot of snakes. And this is like the same amount of snakes as that scene in Indiana Jones with all the snakes. That's just like his house.
Never seen Indiana Jones. The Indiana Jones and like Star Wars, same category to me. I just have no desire. I'm not into it.
I can't with you. So the rarest of these snakes can go for about 20 grand. Some ball pythons can fetch more than $1 million in some places.
The fuck?
And like he's moving reptiles in bulk, so business is very good.
Fuck off.
I'll do it for myself.
There we go.
Play it.
Boo hiss.
Boo hiss. He meets a woman named Lindley. We'll get to Lindley. They get married. She gets pregnant, like not with 3,000 snakes, but I did think about that. And now I'm scared of the oxy nightmare that I imagine will be fueled by that thought. But while Ben was starting up his family, Ben's father, Frank Rennick, is not doing so well. And this evolves into Frank dabbling in some serious crime. And like those stories often begin, Frank was facing a mountain of financial troubles. So naturally, he starts a Ponzi scheme centered around a pet food company.
Okay. Like snake food? Like baby mice?
Just like, it's like pet food, like kibbles and all kinds of bits.
Okay.
And compounding and not just causing, like there were already financial issues, but this just made it so much worse. Frank's wife, Ben's mom, or stepmom, I don't really remember, developed stage 4 breast cancer and like needed treatment and was dying. Ow, Beans. Don't jump on my leg with your claws. So they really needed the money to pay for her treatment. Okay, so you just climbed up and claw me to death just so you could jump to the fucking table. I can't with this cat. This cat is a snake. So it paid for his wife's treatment, but also like their very nice family property, their 70-acre farm. They had like a moderately lavish lifestyle. Like they had some cars and equipment, things like that. And like we know that a Ponzi scheme is not a forever solution. Folks come knocking for their promised returns on investment, and you can't skirt them forever.
It's finite.
Yeah. And in 2012, the Fed started closing in because he had taken all these investments for this like growing pet food company and then just spent it on their house and her treatment. And literally 24 hours before the feds are set to arrive at the family property, Frank Rennick, knowing the jig was up, died by suicide with a gun.
I was going to say. Oh.
So obviously Ben and
leaving everyone else to deal with it.
Well, yeah, Ben and his brother Sam are devastated. Their mom, I don't think got saddled with anything. She's literally dying.
Yeah, well, that was probably not because she legally wasn't obligated. Right. It was just like a mercy.
Right. And so Ben took over the sprawling family farm, which he inherited, and he would like expand his reptile breeding facilities. And his brother Sam also moved into the property because it's huge. So it's large enough for them to like each have their own house on this land.
Yeah.
So shortly after their father's death, Ben and Lynn Lee welcomed their newborn daughter in March of 2012. And she's probably super cute, but I'm confident she's not nearly as cute as Lucy's baby. And
my baby is objectively really fucking adorable.
Yeah, it's
I just gotta say
really cute. Yeah, say it. I'm saying it. You gotta say it too.
Love it.
So they're still reeling from Frank's death and putting the pieces of their life back together. And with Frank's like, not only his death, but like the implosion of his Ponzi scheme, all the press around this, it's just like, it's all too much. So Ben like really commits himself to his passion of raising and like selling these reptiles to support his family, because his dad, like they got the property, but I'm sure they had to pay the IRS everything out of whatever estate was left over that they could.
He so like maybe has they got no option but to like lean in to what he already has.
Yeah. So he's legit. He's curated an absolutely incredible snake and reptile collection, and he's like a well-known breeder in this like I guess southern Midwest, Missouri. And folks like want to get their hands on this collection because they know it's super valuable.
So people just want to buy these animals as like pets.
Yep.
It's not like a zoo or anything like that. Okay.
Nope. It's like totally exotic pets and also just like his love of reptiles. So he had a lot that he wasn't even selling.
What a weird love.
Such a weird love. In 2017, he made a deal with NHL Vegas Golden Knights goalie, which is just a string of gibberish words. None of that makes sense. Robin Lehner to sell most of his snakes.
That's just Mad Libs. It's like dude
Mad Libs. Salad. Most of his snakes and his breeding business for a whopping $1.2 million deal. Because I guess NHL goalies just famously love large quantities of snakes, so they had to have it.
I think anyone who can afford anything for $1.2 million is bound to be into snakes. Also,
can you imagine though buying $1.2 million worth of snakes.
I can't, but I learned recently that Nicolas Cage, the reason why he's in so many fucking movies lately is because he's completely broke because he spent all of his money on reptiles.
And among other things, but
I'm sure among other things.
Okay,
but like
beans, this is too much. So things seem to be going well. He strikes this deal, which is like a huge relief to them. Now all debts can be paid. They've got the property. He's got this new baby. They're doing great. Until June 8th, around 5:53 p.m., Ben's wife, Lynn Lee, gets a message that Ben did not pick up their kid from school as planned.
He was eaten by a ball python.
Well, she starts looking everywhere for him, including in the Shutter reptile breeding facility, where just outside of that facility, she finds Ben, like, in the yard, dead.
Oh, my God.
Lynn Lee calls to Sam, their brother, who is on the property, but it's a 70-acre property, so it takes him a minute to get there, but he rushes over.
He hopped in his gator, zoomed right over.
He gets to the scene, and the two of them call 911 together. And on her 911 call, she says, quote, "My husband's on the ground, and there's blood everywhere."
Oh.
She gets really overwhelmed. Sam takes over on the phone. Sam speculates that it's possible a snake attacked him. Quote, "He raises 500-pound snakes." Sam is looking at Ben and sees that Ben's head is like deformed, which he speculates could mean it could have been crushed. Like, this is what it looked like to him.
Stop.
And he sees what could be puncture wounds in his brother's arm and wonders if they're from fangs.
Oh,
so, like,
it was
enjoy your full body chills.
Ew.
Yeah. Police arrive on the scene. The cops are terrified. This property has thousands of snakes on it, and one potentially big enough to kill a full-grown man that is apparently loose and, like, has already killed once and has a thirst for blood.
One is an actual murderer.
Yep. So this is obviously, like, terrifying, but I also could not help but giggle at imagining a bunch of squeamish cops looking all over the farm for a giant man-eating snake. Like, this sounds like a fucking clown show. And the body cam audio captured a police officer screaming, "I don't care if it's a 5-inch long snake. If something tries to bite me, I'm going to light its ass up."
I'm going to tase that fucker.
It's going down.
I'm going to light its ass up.
Yeah. So these cops are standing around like itchy trigger fingers looking for those giant screaming snakes from Anaconda to come like bursting out of the Missouri grass at them. But as they're like
so gross.
Yeah. But as they're like kicking around looking for maybe a fucking snake, they instead find bullet casings.
Oh.
And as we know,
different kind of snake.
Snakes are not great at using guns.
No fingers.
Yep. So we pretty quickly stopped thinking it was a snake.
Wow.
At the scene, Ben's wife, Lynn Lee, was described as hysterical, of course. But she and Sam's hands were tested for gunshot residue. They gave testimony, like they gave statements. The residue tests were negative. People were like, she's just freaking out. It's her husband. In a one-on-one interview with a detective, Lynn Lee did make a startling claim, saying that Sam might have had a motive to kill his brother.
Oh!
Sam, shocked at the accusation, complied entirely with investigators. He said, quote, "I provided them, everything I had. My cell phone, the shirt off my back, my alibi as to where I was when the murder happened. I gave a polygraph." Like he did it all.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of the lack of residue and her finger pointing at Sam, Lynn Lee was looking more and more like a suspect, like a snake in the grass.
Oh.
And like we always say, it's almost never the snakes, but it's usually the spouse.
Yeah.
Lynn Lee, which I classify as a tragedy name because it's Lynlee, like McKenna Tinsley Bay, Lynn Lee.
Oh, it's one word?
Yeah.
Lindley.
Tragedy, Tragedeigh, tragedy. McKenna Tinsley May Lindley.
Tragedy Marie.
Tragedy Murray. Gunnar Murray.
Gunnar Murray. That and the paintbrush will forever be my favorite Coven confessions. Listen, I know that everyone's going around saying that I'm collecting your hair and making it into a paintbrush, but just so you know, it's not true.
I'm not doing that. Holy shit, I forgot about the paintbrush. Gunnar Murray, no.
Gunnar Murray puking in the back because she farted so bad.
Holy shit, I can't wait for the next gag. All right. So Lindley had once worked as a massage therapist, and her husband, being supportive and lovely, had really stepped up to support her in the opening of her own spot, which she called Essentia Spa.
Oh,
and this was not nearly
what?
Essentia.
Oh.
Tell him Essentia Spa.
Who sent you? I sent you.
Tell him Lindley Essentia. But this was not nearly as surefire an operation as, I guess, swarms of snakes, because the business was hemorrhaging money.
Oh, no.
Tension had started to develop because his business was doing super well, and like he had even sold most of his collection for more than $1 million, while her business is actively losing money. She's losing clients. And there were allegations that she started to get paranoid that with Ben's big payout, he would leave her and take the kids, which there's no evidence to corroborate that he had any intention of leaving his wife and taking their children. Like,
yeah.
That's
so on paper, that was just paranoia.
Yep.
Weird, jealousy.
Just her
almost.
own delulu.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Just checking my pump. Okay. Facebook arguments, which, like, yikes. It doesn't get much more Missouri boomer than a Facebook argument.
The most reliable and
source
water-holding arguments of them all.
Yeah. Showed that Ben discovered her business, Lindley's business, was not only losing money, but that she owed employees a lot of money in back wages, and that she had been lying about paying them. And I guess they like only communicated on Facebook Messenger, which I know a handful of people who do this. John, I'm looking at you, not our editor. Yes. They like used it as their preferred communication platform over texting.
The husband and wife
Husband and wife. Yes.
What the fuck?
I know.
Well, they did have 70 acres.
Said they made love.
They made love.
So his last message to her read, quote, "No more lying, no more keeping things from me, no more not paying people and thinking it's okay to pay later." Which to me sounds like we gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
You're my wife. I'm fucking holding you accountable. We gotta get this under control.
Yeah.
You can't just not be paying your employees. This doesn't come off to me as threatening in any way. Or even like that angry. This seems just like normal after finding out something like this.
Yeah, it also kind of it doesn't necessarily seem like it's pointing fingers at her.
Mm-mm.
It's like, this needs to stop. We are going to fix it. I mean, he didn't say we, but like...
No, but I think that to me seems like the no more keeping things from me. Like, you can't not tell me this stuff that's pertinent to our family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got to figure this out, is what that sounds like to me.
It doesn't seem accusatory.
No, or threatening in any way.
Mm-hmm.
So what Ben didn't know is that at the time all of this was going down, Lindley was involved in 2 affairs. One with a man that she had hired to do marketing. 2.
Who has the
fucking
time?
Seriously, with all these snakes to feed? Well, I sure hope you liked that clip. If you did like that clip, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel, leaving us a nice review, and joining us on Patreon for even more video content, audio content, salacious content all around. Come join us. Treat yourself.